Hey my friends, welcome back to a new video. Today we'll be talking about how the universe is testing you. So when it comes to the phase in our lives where we decide that we want to make certain necessary changes, we want to transform certain part of our lives because we maybe want to feel more enthusiastic, maybe we want to feel more inspired, maybe we feel like our energy level is not ideal for our vision for how we want to live our lives, and we want to, even if we don't know how, we want to make those changes that are in our power so we start to feel more energized, so we raise our frequency and maybe we become more productive or more creative or whatever you feel called to do. We all feel called to do something, and usually, especially when we start to sense that feeling of a calling, like I need to design my life the way that I will feel more fulfilled. I want to set certain goals that will give me a sense of meaning, of purpose. I want to connect with people that will appreciate my worth, that will see my value. I want to work on projects that will truly fulfill me, that will inspire me, that will help me to work on my talents, to work on my gifts. And maybe I want to transform my passion projects into my job, into my career. Whatever it is, we all know that everything is possible, but to make something possible, to make or to transform a potential into actuality means that we need to make certain necessary changes. And change is usually not easy because we're going against something we've been doing for such a long time, and suddenly we are exposed to the destruction or the manifestation of destruction of old patterns. And what it is, well, when we say that the universe is testing us, what it truly means, it means that for example, if we go into ancient alchemy, during this phase, the alchemist would face challenges and obstacles that would test their resolve and determination. So basically it means that when we are being tested by certain challenges, our ability to resolve them is actually being tested. Our determination is being tested. Our awareness of what is truly important to us, our priorities, and those main values that we have for our lives. Like, if we truly want to experience a life that we are intending, that we are visualizing or planning, the question is, what's the value of that vision, right? What's the value of that vision? And are you willing to build a certain required discipline that the pain of that process will be worthy of the value of your vision? And if your answer is yes, then you are ready for the tests, right? The universe will bring it on and you will move through them. If the answer is no, then it means that your vision for the future is not the correct one. Maybe it was influenced by your environment, by celebrities, by social media or whatever. Because I think there's a great misunderstanding when it comes to a dream, when it comes to living a dream life. There's a big misunderstanding because what is presented to us as a dream life is often a life that eventually turns into depression. If we look a life of many celebrities that eventually turned into depression, drugs, and many of them even suicides. So we need to find a clarity around what is a dream life. Because to me, living a dream life is a life that is rich with life. A life that helps me to work on myself, to improve my errors, and at the same time to feel connected with life around me, to feel connected with nature, to feel fully alive, to be creative, to have an opportunity to express my creativity. And also then to reap the results of that work, so I can keep up with improvement, with self-evolution, self-discovery, and eventually I can share with others what I've learned. So maybe my evolution can create ripple effects on my environment, hopefully, so somebody else who decides to positively transform him or herself may find my work as an inspiration. And in my present understanding, this is my dream life. If I can do that every single day, I'm happy. So you see, happiness is already a byproduct of something that's much more complex. And we're not here just following happiness or hoping to be happy, but actually recognizing like what's my responsibility, so I can make this vision, this potential into an actual experience, right? So usually when we truly decide in our lives to do something like that, we awaken. That's what spiritual awakening is all about, right? We recognize, well, I'm done with that sleepwalking. I want to feel fully alive. I want to recognize what life is all about. I want to learn. I want to study. I want to educate myself. I want to feel. I want to feel life, right? I want to feel myself. I want to notice why I was maybe neglected, why I was exposed to so many traumatic experiences in my past. What's the purpose behind it? What I've learned in that process, how to heal, why I feel that change is so hard. You know, we start studying all the systems of life, right? Conscious, subconscious, unconscious, what's all about there? And soon we notice that many old systems may start falling apart. Like if in the past you've been feeding certain patterns in the way that you've been following certain routines that most people are doing, like maybe drinking, hanging out, doing nothing, eating too much of sugar, not taking care of your sleeping cycle, not taking care of your mindset, nurturing this maybe unhealthy habits and so on. It may work for you for a certain amount of time until you start to experience consequences of those behaviors. And soon you recognize that it doesn't feel right. It's not in alignment with who you truly want to be. And once you notice that, you start waking up. You realize, well, maybe those people are not for me. Maybe I just don't want to live my life that way anymore. And there's no judgment to it. You've just decided that way. And as soon as you decide that, you start to meet some personal struggles. You start to meet some setbacks. And sometimes even physical illnesses, because we create a major change in our lives, right? We suddenly start questioning everything. And often at that time we start wondering, is what is providing me income is still in alignment with me? Do I still want to do those things? And therefore some financial difficulties may appear. Because it may cause a lot of stress in our lives, also some health problems may appear. Because we notice that we maybe don't, or people around us may not be influencing us in a positive way, or may not support our positive transformation. Some relationship issues may appear. And, you know, we may lose a job, we may lose a friend, or or a certain family member may say to us, like, what are you doing? Are you going crazy? Are you out of your mind? So many things may start happening in this process, but what's happening, the universe is testing you. If you're willing to move through the struggles and challenges, there's something greater on the other side. And only you know what that greater is, because you're designing it right now in your vision for the future, when you're setting your goals, when you're thinking deeply and creatively about the life you want to live, you're intending to live. So the purpose of these tests is always to help you to shed your old self and prepare for the transformation that's about to come. By facing these challenges head-on and open-minded, being flexible, you will develop an inner strength and resilience that needs to be present and embodied and grounded to undergo the transformation. So transformation is like a rebirth. That's why I'm sharing today with you a painting of a phoenix, because Phoenix represents this story when the old self needs to burn into ashes, and then out of the ashes there's a rise of a new self, a birth of a new self, right? And this story of transformation is repeating over and over again in our lives. Like, doesn't matter what we start, doesn't matter how well we think we are living our lives. Eventually we come to the point where we are not happy with our lives anymore. We recognize that the way we're living our life is not bringing us a sense of fulfillment anymore. And then there's a phase of disturbance, like why I don't feel satisfied anymore. Like, for a long time I was enjoying in that process, but suddenly I don't feel like that anymore. I feel like something is missing. I feel like I need to change something, but at the same time you don't know what, so there's a sense of confusion. But if you dig deeper and you question yourself, you question your life, journaling in this phase is really powerful, because writing is the deepest form of thinking. It will help you to notice what is actually going on. In the previous video I was talking a lot about it, like recognizing the errors in our personality, because our reality is always the product of our personality. And what it means that on our intellectual understanding we think what's best for us, and that's what we are intending to create. And if we are determined enough and disciplined enough, eventually we will create that kind of a lifestyle. But as our personality is constantly evolving, changing, and upgrading, it means that doesn't matter what kind of life we create, eventually we will come to a point where we will overgrow that old vision, and there comes a time when we need to design a new one. And those are cycles of self-evolution, self-transformation. That's why this process is called creative transformation, because you're creating a new version of yourself. You're designing a new life for yourself. That's why we shouldn't look on challenges as something negative. Challenges are the signs from life that you're ready for something new, that you're ready to evolve, that you're ready to upgrade yourself. But this is, again, it's always a feminine energy that creates this process, that initiates that process, because feminine energy is chaotic energy, but deeply creative and compassionate. So every time you're dealing with challenges, there's actually a force in the background that is guiding you through those challenges. And that force is creative. This is a creative force that brings you new ideas, like what you need to work on. But those new ideas may awaken a lot of fear and stress within your body, because you're afraid of letting go of what was bringing you comfort until now, right? So you're kind of shattering this idea of comfort so you can fully initiate a transformation that may bring you a greater comfort in the future, or something better, something that you actually need for so your soul can transform into its greatest potential. That's what alchemy is all about. So if you're moving through it right now, if you feel like you're in this phase right now, as I often mention to you, the dark night of the soul, in alchemy it's called the Nigredo phase, the black phase, which is the phase of the dark night of the soul. What you can do, you can make plans. Like, what is the greatest potential at this point you can think about that would bring you a sense of purpose and meaning in your life? And then think about the responsibilities that may awaken out of this deep creative thinking. Like when you're creating and designing that vision for your life, what are the responsibilities around this? Like, one is that you will need to find a stream of income if you don't have it. And for that, you will need a certain sense of knowledge. Like, if you're starting from zero, which is something I would not recommend, it's great if you already have a stream of income. But in case you don't have it, consider to find it, because it will help you to move through that process with greater ease. And then think about one of the most important responsibilities is that we need to build a discipline. A discipline means that you're willing to do what you're intending to do. Doesn't matter the circumstances. Sometimes you will be supported, but often you will not be. So discipline helps you to find your inner support, where you tap within yourself and you find an inner fire that sometimes is louder, and sometimes it feels like we don't feel inspired at all, but we still make at least one step forward. We also recognize rhythms of nature at this point, which is another important responsibility to notice in what kind of rhythm we are right now. Are we more productive, or are we in the phase where we are kind of thinking and downloading and analyzing the plans and ideas and inspiration and creative thoughts that we have? Because we all have this different rhythms. That's a part of life, and we just need to notice that, and if we truly pay attention to that, it makes our lives much easier. So another responsibility is that we make sure that what we do is ethical, and it will not just improve our lives, but eventually it will help to make lives of others a bit better, easier, or more inspired, whatever it is. So you always look on upgrading of your ego. That is a great responsibility, because ego, on the lower sense, ego is awareness of the self. And if you stay there, you may think that your life is all about you. But when you upgrade this awareness of ego, you recognize that the whole world is a part of you. Humanity, all creatures, all living creatures, nature, everything is a part of you. And that is a greater sense of ego, where you recognize, because ego is not bad, ego means self. And ego needs to be upgraded to that wider state of consciousness, where you notice that everything is a part of yourself. And why it is important? Because when you notice that everything is a part of yourself, you will not go outside and harm nature. You will not go outside and harm somebody. You will make sure, like, if all creatures, everything is a part of us, can we truly pay enough attention to live our lives the way that may be beneficial for all, because that's what will improve our lives and lives of others as well. So that is the major purpose of the tests from the universe. And sometimes when we can't find the answers, we just need to look into our history, and we can notice what helped those who are living lives that we may find as inspiring right now. And we can study those people, and we may learn something that may help us right at this point of our lives. So my friends, never look on challenges as something bad, like, oh, your life is falling apart. It is true, your life is falling apart. So something you've been ignoring for too long may awaken within you and grow out of those challenges as a greater potential of yourself. So look at it as a phase of transformation, and be as present as you can be with yourself. But at the same time, reflect on what's happening. Think deeper about what you could do, what you should do, but you're not doing it. And think about it and see what is in your power to change, because there's so much. So my friends, I will leave you here. I hope you've enjoyed in this Phoenix. Thanks to everyone for supporting my art in my Etsy shop. I draw my passion. You're all truly appreciated. Today is the last day for our fresh sale. Go and check out on our Etsy shop, and till next time, I'm sending you lots of love, blessings, and power. One love.